All right, good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd day of June in the year 2026. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in person in this chamber. All right, before we go to public comment, I want to direct everybody's attention to our colleague who represents Boyle Heights, Councilmember Jurado of the 14th District, to give us important updates about why we can't see more than 2 blocks away from this building this morning.
Thank you for that, Council President. Colleagues, today I rise on behalf of a community that has spent the last week carrying a burden it did not create. For nearly a week, families in Boyle Heights and East Los Angeles have been living with smoke, odors, ash, disrupted routines, and serious concerns about what this means for their health and well-being. Parents have been worrying about their children, seniors have been wondering whether it is safe to leave their homes, workers have been navigating commutes through smoke and uncertainty, and small businesses have been trying to keep their doors open while facing the same concern as everyone else. And through it all, neighbors have been checking in on one another. That resilience deserves to be recognized, but resilience is not the same thing as responsibility. People are tired, they're anxious, and they deserve answers. Last Wednesday, a fire erupted at a cold storage warehouse facility in Boyle Heights. What began as a structure fire quickly became a prolonged emergency involving heavy smoke, air quality concerns, environmental monitoring, and a massive response from firefighters and emergency personnel across multiple agencies. While much of the attention has focused on the warehouse itself, I want to focus on the people living through the crisis every day. From the very first day of this emergency, my focus had been simple: make sure residents have information they can trust and resources they can use. Every morning since the fire began, I've started my day at the command post receiving updates directly from LAFD and emergency responders so our office can get the most accurate information possible to the people who need it most. And every day after those briefings, my team has gone to work, and I really appreciate them. While firefighters focus on containing the fire, CD14 focus on people living around it. We are securing masks, air purifiers, and emergency supplies. We are creating flyers, knocking on doors, answering calls, checking on families, and making sure residents have clear, timely information in a language that they can understand. Going block by block through the neighborhood most impacted by the fire, including homes directly across the street from the warehouse. We are meeting people where they are because in a crisis, resources are only as helpful as it can get into the hands of the people most affected. And that work continues, and we're not doing that work alone. What I have witnessed over the last 7 days is the best of Boyle Heights, the best of the East Side, and the best of Los Angeles. Our community has shown up in extraordinary ways. Proyecto Pastoral, Inner City Struggle, East LA YMCA, Boyle Heights Bridge Runners, Boyle Heights Chamber of Commerce, Inclusive Action, Centro CSO, Union de Vecinos, LA Forward, DSA LA, neighborhood councils, faith leaders, small businesses, volunteers, people who have spent days knocking on doors, translating information, distributing supplies, checking on seniors, helping families navigate resources, and making sure residents do not face this crisis alone. When a community was hurting, people showed up, and they continue to show up. And I'm deeply grateful for that partnership. And we talk a lot about city family. And we use it here, and I didn't really know what it meant, but this past week has shown me what it truly means to be part of one. On day one, Councilmember Hernandez sent air purifiers so that we could give it to the folks right across from the warehouse. Then Councilmember Park and her team immediately connected with my staff and helped guide us through the realities of responding to this kind of emergency while also trying to figure out what do we keep going on our other city council work. She and Councilmember Soto Martinez personally delivered resources directly to our office, and for that, we really thank you. Controller Mejia bought air filters on his own and helped pack masks. Councilmember Padilla helped load boxes of air purifiers onto trucks and headed directly into the neighborhoods most impacted by the fire, and trucks driven by the mayor's office staff to help distribute. And also across the city, council offices have stepped up however they can. Councilmember McCosker, Councilmember Lee, your staff provided a truck. Councilmember Hutt sending 2 teams. Councilmember Rodriguez, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, your chief of staff, also Councilmember Lee's chief of staff, loading boxes. and Councilmember Blumenfeld from the earliest, helping us to find resources, whether it's masks or air purifiers. And the mayor's office, they've been alongside us every step of the way, helping coordinate resources and making sure Boyle Heights gets the support it needs. I mean, it was her advocacy to do a joint declaration with the county to get the governor to declare a state of emergency so that we could get ahead of this fire with all the resources we need. And, you know, that has been such a fabulous partnership. And so I can't underscore how much the mayor's office has helped us in this process to address the need. People keep asking one simple question: what do you need? And every time we ask for help, someone answers. And this crisis is not over. Families are still dealing with smoke, uncertainty, and concerns and about what they are breathing. Residents still need resources, residents still need information, and residents still deserve answers. And that is why yesterday I announced a package of motions focused on immediate relief, public health, and accountability. These motions are grounded in what we have been hearing directly from residents over the last week. If we're asking people to limit their exposure to smoke, we should be making it easier for them to do so. That means getting more masks, air purifiers, air filters into the community. It means reducing the amount of time transit-dependent residents are forced to wait outside during a smoke emergency. It means ensuring that unhoused Angelenos are not put in situations that increase their exposure during environmental emergencies. And it means demanding answers about how this fire happened, what oversight existed, and whether there are warning signs and what changes are needed to prevent something like this from happening again. But relief alone is not enough. Residents deserve answers. They deserve to know what happened, they deserve to know what burned, and they deserve to know what risks remain. And they deserve clear information they can understand and use to make decisions for themselves and their families. And let me be clear, this is only the beginning. These motions are the first step toward meeting the immediate needs of residents and beginning the work of accountability. As the emergency evolves from the fire suppression to cleanup to recovery and investigation, my office will continue bringing forward actions focused on transparency, public health, environmental justice, and accountability. Because when the fire is finally out, the questions, the cleanup, and the impacts on residents will remain. And for generations, Boyle Heights has carried environmental burdens that many communities never think about. I mentioned last week when we talked about parks that the east side has been the trash can of the city of Los Angeles for too long, and that's why park advocacy was so important. It has also been bearing the burden, just like other Black and brown communities, of the environmental burdens. And when a major industrial fire happens here, the response cannot be slow, vague, or incomplete. It needs to have the same urgency, transparency, and protection as any other community in Los Angeles, and our neighbors in East LA deserve the same. I want to thank Councilmember Price, also, and Councilmember Rahman and Council President for also sending their staff over. I really appreciate it. I just want to say that this has really been an all city council, departmental, mayor's office, controller, city attorney effort. And like I mentioned, I didn't know what city family meant, and now I know what y'all put the family in it. And especially in crisis, we set aside our differences and unite, and I thought that was really powerful. Before I close, I also want to thank Chief Jaime Jamie Moore and the firefighters of the Los Angeles Fire Department. We see your dedication. On Father's Day, there were so many fathers that were out there. They've been working 24/7, and so we appreciate their sacrifice and grateful for their service. In addition, I want to thank Supervisor Hilda Solis, Senator Maria Elena Durazo, Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez, and all of our city, county, state partners, and every emergency responder, city employee, community organization, volunteer who has stepped up during this response. Boyle Heights did not create this crisis, and Boyle Heights should not be left to carry the burden of cleaning it up alone. And to the residents of Boyle Heights and East LA, we hear you, we are there with you, and we will continue to keep fighting with you. And we will continue showing up every day until this community gets the answers, resources, and support it deserves. So thank you, Council President, for giving me this time, and thank you, City family.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your leadership, Council Member.
Okay, first speaker.
Good morning, Pumpkinhead.
So before we begin, hold his time. So Mr. Herman, we have been through this before. You have made an accommodation request with the clerk's office, and we are doing our best to abide by that accommodation request. So because you are at the podium right now, I will let you proceed with your public comment, but you know the rules. If you would like to, you are more than welcome to withdraw that request. I'm not encouraging you to do so. It is up to you. But we cannot play guessing games on where you would like to speak. So I assume this is all in the spirit of trying to waste everybody's time here. So if it happens again, I will give you a warning, and it will constitute a warning for removal. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
So everybody that believes in housing department, you've all been fooled. You continue to be fooled. Don't let these fools make fools of you. How many years have you heard of them providing you with housing, but yet not one goddamn answer or solution, right? But they're going to raise the taxes on you, right? They're asking for that, right, Mr. Price? 10% hike in taxes in Los Angeles when people can't even afford the rent? What is rent stabilization for then? What are the protocols for addressing the motherfucking violations, including escalation procedures and enforcement? Yeah, dickhead, I'm on page 61, motherfucker. Recommendations to improve transparency. So you see, a white motherfucker like me knows how to reduce and repeat violations by strengthening the enforcement.
I can't tell which item you're on, but to the extent you're on the same item, that was 49. You did mention rent stabilization. You have exhausted your minute on that item. Please move on. Again, you know the rules. If you don't identify the item that you'd like to speak to, and I can't tell, then I will have to interrupt you. So I need you to identify which items you'd like to speak to before you begin.
I don't have to address anything to you or direct my attention to you.
Okay, so this is your only warning. You are now off the agenda. If you do it again, I'm going to move you to general.
I'm referring to the civil rights of equity and the fucking wetback immigration and aging and disability, cocksucker. That once again, housing LA citizens is not an oversight. It's a fucked up situation where people of minorities cannot afford to pay the rent. So you citizens...
Okay, I've asked you politely to identify the item. You've refused to do so. This sounds like general public comment. So I'm going to move you to general. You have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Which is civil rights, equity, immigration, and aging. What's your fucking problem?
This is your general public comment. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Now, dickhead, last week, you allowed a white man to attack me in this facility and did no warning or no kick out, but you targeted me after the white man on that side of the podium was in my face yelling at me while you, dickhead, were talking to me. 2 fucking arguments going on in the same fucking house that I control the narrative. But yet you kicked me out for 2 fucking days, you fucking pumpkin head. Right, Smoking Scan? You with the pimple on your face, dickhead, didn't do the same enforcement that you should have done when allowing a person to attack me at the podium when I was sitting over there. That's why I'm here now defending that issue while you suck a dick. Fuck Korea, fuck China, God bless Donald J. Trump, and put your stupid ass behind bars.
All right, and that is your public comment. If we hear you again, it will constitute a disruption, and you will be eligible for removal. To be clear, just for the record, I have no idea what incident you are talking about. You know the rules, and for everybody who's here, we do appreciate your patience, and we apologize for what you just heard. We do have to, Mr. Herman, congratulations. This is your first formal warning and, for the purposes of being removed. Do not disrupt me while I'm trying to address the members of the public. Again, we appreciate your patience. Unfortunately, this is a common occurrence. Mr. Herman is a regular attendee at these meetings. The quickest way to get through this is to simply ignore him.
Good morning, members of the City Council. I want to start by thanking my council member, Isabel Jurado, for all her efforts this weekend. And then I want to move on to talk about homelessness. the homeless count has been down, but actions that this council plans to take is going to cause it to increase. And actions that this council is failing to take is going to cause it to increase. You cannot reduce homeless services 15%. You cannot reduce homeless services at all, and you cannot reduce eviction defense services. I issued a layoff notice to my staff for June 12th, and we were able to raise just enough money to be able to keep the staff on staff until July 17th. Now, there is someone in the audience who has, that's the 1 minute, right?
General, go ahead.
We have someone in the audience that is going to testify, hopefully in Farsi, but I hear you don't have a Farsi interpreter, so maybe one of us will use Google Translate. She has been begging me to represent her on the 21st of July in a trial in Van Nuys Court. I cannot make, that would be Mr. Blumenfeld district. I cannot make that commitment to her because I may have 66% less staff and no services to City of LA residents as of July 17th. Think about what that means. I beg you to please agendize this item, and now I'm speaking to the council president. I'm not a good mind reader. I used to be a good mind reader. I gave it up. It was giving me headaches. I sense that something's happening behind the scenes, but we had Councilwoman Rahman and Councilwoman Jurado ready to have this heard today.
Good morning, Councilmember Hernandez. My name is Lawrence Vasquez. I'm a EDN TEP student, and they were very helpful to me. I had an eviction filed for me, and on March the 2nd, it was dismissed because of the things that I learned from EDN, from their web tutorials, and from the help from the staff and the lawyer that subbed into my case on the day that I came to court. I learned something, and the attorney had to dismiss the case because they didn't mail me a paper that they had filed with the court. The second time eviction was filed toward me, I had learned even more, and the attorney had to give me the RSO forms that are supposed to be in the front of the front.
1 minute for General, go ahead.
Right, in the front where the mailboxes are at in the laundry room. I didn't even know about these forms, but I learned about them, and this was my defense, and they had to dismiss the case. For the attorney, the only win for him is that I get evicted. They don't want anything else. This is what we're all dealing with right now. Every person that gets evicted is dealing with an attorney or a law firm that's all they do, is evict people. Evict a person, get paid. Evict a person, get paid. In the words of Michelle Obama at the library address, they are us and we are them. Release the funds today. Sign the paperwork for it and sign the rest of the funds so that people like me don't get evicted. Senior citizens, families with children, and individuals. Thank you.
Algo que llamó la atención es un autor, se llama Colin A. Ross. Al principio se tituló, go ahead, translate.
Yes, something that came to attention for me was the author Colin A. Ross.
Al principio se tituló su libro Bluebird.
And at first he titled his book Bluebird.
Pero ahora se titula Los Médicos del CIA.
But now it's titled Los Médicos de CIA, the doctors of the CIA.
El autor Colin Ross dice que no hay ningún ejemplo de personalidad múltiple en la naturaleza.
The author Colin A. Ross says that there's no examples of multiple personalities in nature.
Solo en la página de Wikipedia no incluye Colin Ross en la página de personalidad múltiple.
Only in the page, on the Wikipedia page, is Colin A. Ross not included with multiple personality.
Es un trampa de los servicios de inteligencia.
This is a trap by intelligence services.
Porque la verdad es similar a Edom.
Because truthfully, it's similar Edom.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to Councilman Hugo Soto Martinez. I am your constituent. Here's the situation. Well, before I go further, my name, Jason J. Scribbles Cunningham, CEO of J. Scribbles Music. I am a professional recording artist by trade. 2025, as we all know, those fires hit. And while those fires hit, it was a lot of property destroyed, venues destroyed, places where I performed was destroyed. But what was left was the place where I was renting for California, which is in your district. And while I'm renting at this place, now I got to find more venues. I have to find more venues where I can perform.
So, Speaker, your time has expired. We do have to move on to the next speaker. Okay, thank you. Speaker, I need you to vacate the podium. Speaker, at this point, you are disrupting the meeting insofar as we need to move on to the other speakers. We have a lot of people here. So I'm going to ask that you please do not disrupt this meeting. This is your first and only formal warning. We're going to move on to the next speaker now. Sergeants, if I could ask you to please explain the rules to the gentleman, I would appreciate it. Okay. Sir, good morning. Yes, we see. Sorry, what would you like to speak to?
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm going to speak on item 16, homelessness.
Okay, so like the last speaker, item 16 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
I'll speak on general. Number 1550. Okay, let me speak.
Okay, so if you're, hold on. So 50 is open for public comment. You have 1 minute for item number 50 and 1 minute for general if you'd like. So please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Council Member Adrien Nazarian and all council members. My name is Marcella Thompson. I am a 66-year-old disabled senior citizen, native Angelino, Studio City resident living on fixed Social Security income. I am here today because I know firsthand how important individualized eviction defense network services are for people facing the loss of their homes. Over the past year, I've been involved in eviction proceedings while also dealing with serious health challenges. I have undergone numerous spinal surgeries over the course of my disability and need 2 additional surgeries to relieve severe thoracic spinal cord disorder. Managing my health is difficult enough. Facing the possibility of eviction and homelessness at the same time was frightening, exhausting, and detrimental to my health.
General public comment.
During COVID, I had to go through 4 years of living in nursing homes, living with friends, dutifully paying my rent, and I had my spine reconstructed. I have a spine that is of titanium and everything else. Unfortunately, I am facing eviction once again, but if it weren't for Eviction Defense Network coming to my rescue, I would have been living on the street, which I have never, ever experienced in my entire life. I am hoping and praying that you will come up with the funds to help them help us. They shouldn't be evicted, neither should we. And I'm here to ask the City Council to fund this important network because we don't need to be on the street.
Thank you.
There's a lot of blame to go around between the elected officials, the staff attorneys, and the police, but I have to say that the lion's share goes to the police because they should know better than to believe what the city attorneys are feeding them. The police should know that when they expel people from council without giving them a citation so they can challenge the expulsion in court, they are violating due process. The Brown Act does not replace due process, it goes on top of it. This is an example of the obvious but less damaging misconduct. The really horrifying stuff isn't so obvious. The fix is obvious. You should ask the governor for a military-level investigation of government misconduct, and so should anyone in the audience here who actually wants the misconduct to stop. Anything less will cause unnecessary suffering.
Thank you. I'm Hans Johnson, representing the East Area Progressive Democrats and our 1,200 members throughout Los Angeles. I'm here to commend two of our East Side and Northeast Council members, Isabel Jurado and Nithya Raman, for their ordinance to enact urgent release of funds necessary and essential for the human rights and protection of Angelenos from eviction, including members of our club. I'm proud to be joined here today by one member of our club in particular, Linda McShann, who has endured a year of terror and constant threats to evict her onto the street despite being in her 70s and being a lawful tenant for many decades. Throughout the last year, many of you know, and Angelenos have had to endure a federal invasion and the terrifying consequences of masked armed agents patrolling our streets, ambushing our residents, and taking away loved ones and neighbors. Tenants throughout the city have had to endure a similar ordeal, and we are here today to ask that the council take urgent action to appropriately release funds that should not be withheld because of the public outcry, because of the public intervention wrongfully from the city attorney. I want to thank the two sponsors of this ordinance and urge other council members to show that you recognize the importance of these funds to represent tenants. This is about the tenants. It's not about the politics of the ordinance. It's not about the thumb on the scale by the city attorney who wrongfully instituted a bidding process, and then when that failed to obstruct the funding, then fell back on substantive objections to the tenant protection funds. You have the power to do what's right. On behalf of the largest Democratic club in the city and the state of California, I call on you to take the morally right stand, to do the right thing, and to get these funds released to LAFLA and the other nonprofits that are doing God's work protecting tenants throughout Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Cynthia. I'm a program manager for State House LA. I've been doing this work for a while now and have seen on the grounds why it's so necessary to make sure that we agendize the motion that Isabel Jurado and Nithya Raman presented at the H&H committee. When we talk about homelessness prevention, right, and homelessness in general, we're never really looking at what is going to help systematically the tenants of LA. And this program, State House LA, has been doing that. You see the numbers that we've been able to put in the report. The city has that information. The city attorney has that information. What is that I am unclear is why have the funds not been distributed? Now that we have this fire in CD14, I have a lot of family members right now that are being directly affected by this fire, health-wise, environmentally wise, and we don't know the type of impact this is gonna create long-term. What I do know is that with ensuring that these services and these contracts are signed, it gives CD14 and other districts that are being affected financial assistance, rental financial assistance that I see a lot of family is going to need support with. The fire means not a lot of people are going out to work. It means people are going to have to start evacuating because of health risks, and not being able to make rent is gonna create a bigger burden in each of your districts. So I really urge everyone here to take a look at the motions that we have set in place, understand why this is of utter importance. You have so many people out here today letting you guys know that if this doesn't pass soon, you're going to have a bigger problems in your hands. So please, please, please take a look at these motions, agendize them, make sure that we have these funds and support now before a bigger systematic issue is at play. Thank you.
Mi nombre es Margarita Copado. Estoy aquí para hablar del punto 50, comentario público general.
Good morning. My name is Margarita Copado. I'm here to talk about item 50 and a general public comment.
Insto al presidente del Consejo a que actúe inmediatamente e incluya en el orden del día la moción de State House LA.
I urge the President of the Council to include on today's agenda the motion regarding State House LA.
Para ordenar al fiscal municipal y formalice los 4 contratos con el programa de State House LA.
I order him to, for them to organize with the city attorney and make those contracts be formal for State House LA.
De favor les pido que firmen, porque sin esa ayuda muchas personas están trabajando sin tener ningún sueldo y a nadie de ustedes les gustaría estar trabajando de embalde y sin ganar ningún centavo.
As I ask you as a favor to please sign that, because many are not getting the help that they need. They're working without a salary, and many of you wouldn't like to work for no cents.
Gracias a esa ayuda yo tengo un abogado que me está representando sin cobrarme ningún centavo. Voy por mi tercera demanda de desalojo. Tengo un hijo con necesidades especiales y él me dice que si vamos a ser homeless también nosotros.
Thanks to that help, I was able to hire a lawyer and paid him no money, and this is my 3rd lawsuit due to unlawful detainers. And I have a kid with special needs, and he's wondering if we're going to be homeless.
Yo no sé por qué les cuesta tanto trabajo firmar, dar esa firma. El dinero no va a salir de sus bolsillos. Ahí tendría que pensar si sale de sus bolsillos. Muchas gracias.
I don't know why is it so hard for you to sign those papers, to sign them, because the money is not coming from your pockets. I mean, if so, you would think about that.
Hi, my name is Mia Galtieri. I'm a constituent of District 13, and I'm here in support of the readoption of the oil phase-out ordinance. An overwhelming body of scientific evidence confirms that oil drilling harms people's health. We need the city to take action today to move forward this oil phase-out ordinance as a commitment to Angelenos that our health, our safety, and our futures matter more than the profits of oil companies and CEOs. Phasing out oil drilling is just the first step to protect residents. We need the city to take urgent action now, and we are calling for the zoning administrator to revoke permits for the Warren ENP Banning drilling site and the ENB Murphy drill site. We also demand that the City Council uses the city's existing authority to plug idle wells. The fight to phase out oil drilling does not end with the passage of this ordinance. We need the city to take urgent action now to protect communities. Thank you.
My name is Megan Emmy, representing the Downtown Women's Center. We provide women and survivor-centered services in Skid Row, a neighborhood that encompasses 8% of LA's homeless population and less than 0.1% of its geographic area. Street strategies identified for 10 to 15% reductions include hygiene services, medical interventions, and meals in Skid Row, an area with the most concentrated health needs in LA. Most unhoused Skid Row residents rely on benefits, with upwards of 76% dependent on SNAP and 78% dependent on Medicaid. Reduced access to SNAP benefits begins this month due to H.R. 1, and Medicaid benefits will follow in January. We cannot afford additional reductions to life-sustaining services. Funding cuts means fewer people accessing food, showers, and medical services, risking far more costly public health interventions. We respectfully urge City Council to maintain these vital services. Thank you.
My name is Sylvia Esparza, and I live a few blocks away from the Murphy drill site in West Adams, and I'm calling for the City Council to readopt the oil phase-out ordinance. I'm here because the scientific evidence clearly shows that the residential oil drilling adversely affects our community health and air. In light of Boyle Heights warehouse fire, I think we all understand the fear of breathing in unknown toxic chemicals. We all realize the importance of clean air and the danger of industrial sites in neighborhoods. The Murphy drill site has received over 60 violations for failing to follow city and state rules. This ordinance will help shield my 9 and 8-year-old daughters, my neighbors, and a not insignificant number of children that go to school in the nearby areas. And they've been subjected to this for years. We ask the City Council to protect our neighborhood and readopt the oil phase-out ordinance. Thank you.
My name is Charvi Reddy. I'm a volunteer with the Eviction Defense Network. And I've seen people walk into our offices scared, holding papers that threaten their homes. These are people who would end up on the street if not for the staff who welcome them, who strengthen them, and who teach them how to defend themselves in a system that they are completely unfamiliar with, that they've never seen before getting these papers. If there is any doubt that the Stay House Coalition needs this funding, please look around. Look at the tenants who have shown up today. Many of them in the middle of their cases that threaten their houses, their homes. They've shown up. They have kids at home. They have work to do. They have jobs to get to. They have disabilities, making it difficult for them to get here today. But they've come here because they believe it is important that we get this funding. It is not something that is unexpected or that's a surprise to anyone. This is funding that's been promised to the coalition. All that we are asking is that we get the funding so we can keep doing the work that everyone knows needs to be done, that people have shown up today to have get done.
I'm sorry, you're on General. Thank you, your time has expired.
My name is Catherine White. I am the Director of Operations and Patient Care for woundwalk.org. We are a street medicine team that's been providing care on Skid Row for the past 2 years. I'm here today to speak about the city's policies and funding regarding homeless services and how fully funding housing is true harm reduction. Housing is harm reduction. Safe shelter is harm reduction. Access to detox and rehab beds is harm reduction. Mental health care is harm reduction. Access to health care, wound care, hygiene services, and good nutrition is harm reduction. Recovery support is harm reduction. Clean streets and safe public spaces are harm reduction for our whole community. Woundwalk is opposed to the city's policy of allowing the distribution of drug paraphernalia to vulnerable populations. Harm reduction policies should reduce harm. There is no safe way to use fentanyl, methamphetamine, or crack cocaine. Clean pipes don't mitigate the most devastating risks of methamphetamine and cocaine, including heart damage, strokes, psychosis, hypersexualization, aggressive behaviors, lung damage, kidney damage, and other devastating health consequences. The risk of opioid overdose and severe addiction are not eliminated by increasing unfettered access to drug paraphernalia and needles in public spaces. If we want to reduce harm, we should boldly invest in interventions that clearly support recovery and stability, including housing. The funding on the line today is the investment that help people stabilize, recover, and rebuild their lives. And now is not the time to cut back on those services, including tenant protections. But stop the tax-funded distribution of illegal paraphernalia into our communities now. Thank you.
Sí, buenos días, mi nombre es Dominga Solórzano y soy del Distrito 9 y soy miembro de ACE.
Good morning, I'm Dominga Solórzano, I'm from District 9, and I'm a member of ACE.
Soy inquilino, organizador, activista y del distrito municipal. Insto al presidente del consejo a que actúe de inmediato e incluya.
I am a tenant organizer, I'm an activist, and I belong to the municipal district, and I urge the president to immediately act.
En el orden del día, la moción de SHLA para ordenar al fiscal municipal que formalice los 4 contratos con el programa Stay House LA
To move forward with the motion for SHLA and to order the city attorney to formalize the 4 contracts with State Housing LA.
Y que ordene al LAHID que libere la asignación de fondos de forma inmediata de acuerdo con los importes presupuestados y que agilice el proceso de pago para garantizar que las organizaciones puedan seguir prestando los servicios de State Housing LA a los inquilinos.
And to order LAHID to release the funds for them to immediately send the amounts included in the budget and to expedite the payment process for the organizations to keep working with tenants through State House LA.
A los inquilinos, a la ciudad de Los Ángeles, cuanto más se retrase, mayor será el impacto y mayor será el riesgo de que los inquilinos se vean expuestos a un desalojo.
And if there is a further delay, there will be a bigger impact and a higher risk of the tenants to be in the situation of being without a house.
Sí, por favor, que liberen el dinero que ya está ahí, no lo van a ir a ganar para darlo. Por favor, si no, programas como esto no los vamos a tener y seremos afectados y quedaremos en la calle. Por favor, gracias.
Good morning, Councilmember Hernandez. I thank you for your undivided attention. I sent you, the mayor, and the city attorney letters in support of EDM, and I have copies with me today. My name is Margaret Alarcon. I was born at the Women and Children's Hospital on Mission Road, and I am still here. I'm a long-term disabled tenant of Lincoln Heights. I faced 2 eviction proceedings, both dismissed. I could not afford a lawyer. EDN was there. Disability cases are very complex. They require individualized support to gather evidence, know our rights, and prepare for trial. EDN does not just provide legal help. It empowers people to show up for themselves and each other. For disabled tenants like me, videos and classes alone are not enough.
General?
These funds were promised. EDN has already done the work. April, May, and most of June. They showed up for us. Now we need this council to show up for them. Preventing evictions is humane. It is fiscally responsible. It is the most direct tool this city has to prevent homelessness. Advance the April 2026 allocation. Release the funds by July 1st. Pay them. Keep families housed. Thank you for your undivided attention.
So sorry because I do not speak English well. I live in Woodland Hills and I am here today because I am fighting an eviction case in Los Angeles. My jury trial is scheduled for 21 July 2026. I came to the United States with my husband and my 12-year-old son to build a better future. But instead, we have been struggling to serve. I do not speak English well. I do not understand the legal system my landlord has attorneys. I have none. Without legal help, I do not believe I can fully defend myself in court. I joined the Eviction Defense Network program because I needed guidance that helped me understand the court process, prepare documents, and learn how to defend myself. But today, I am terrified because I learned that EDN might have to lay off 66% of its staff on July 17. My trial is only 4 days later on 21 July. If Taos...
Thank you, Speaker. Your time has expired. So just for everybody here, if you would like an interpreter, if you speak another language other than English or Spanish, and you contact us beforehand, usually 2 days, we'll do our best to have an interpreter here. You can make those requests with the clerk's office. It's actually right over that way near the bridge. But we do need to move on to the next speaker. Thank you for your public comment. I assume all items in general public comment, you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items, and I'm going to ask that you identify the items before you begin speaking.
Yes, douchebag. Already douchebag. So let's see, number 50. Let's see here. Why, you gonna give $36.3 million, money cow, to this motherfucking item after you screaming all months and months that the city don't have the money? That what we're gonna do, money cow? Did you lie to us? Did you lie to us? Yes, you did. Anybody that wanted to cut this fund, you lied to the taxpayers. Because it says there's no impact on the general fund, so that means you tried to cut the renters out to help the Zionist Jews. Let's give the number 50 a hand. Right. Yes, you got caught in another lie, but the worst part is Nithya Raman Noodle, who waved it out of committee. She didn't even care to hold a meeting. She just moseyed her ass home to her $3 million house. Then we get 51. Yep. Shut the fuck up. We get to 51, USC Care Medical Group for the health care of the in-house. What about goddamn housed? What about the people who are in fucking rent-controlled apartments? How about the people who pay market rent, Marquizzi? Why don't you give some people the fucking money for that?
I agree. So you can speak to this during general, but I need you to speak to item 51 specifically. Then speak to 51. This is your only warning. Hold his time.
It says
Hold it. Your time is paused right now. I am trying to give you instructions.
It says
At this point, you are disrupting the meeting. This is your first and only formal warning. Your time is paused. Do not speak over me. Do not speak over the other council members or the council president. So you have been warned. If you continue to do it, you will be removed.
You're disrupting the meeting, Mr. Spindler. One more warning and you're out.
So stick to the items. I'm going to move you to general. Go ahead.
You fucking stop that shit, okay? I fucking talked about the housed. The committee says unhoused. I'm telling you what the housed should get. That's clearly on the fucking topic. Liar. Lying bar card fraud. Liar. So why don't you give people that pay market rent, unlike Hugo who gets rent control, how about give some people with market rent a fucking break for once, huh? So now what do we got here? See how you have to fight for your right to speak? Free speech, my ass.
Great.
Then
you were
52,
warned before. You were off topic again. You're now on to general public comment. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Sure, motherfucker. You know who's watching this meeting this morning? They're 3,300 miles away in a certain building next to a dirty fucking pool overlooking the Lincoln Memorial. That's why I'm here today. I want you to see, DOJ, I want you to see how they violate and discriminate on content-based discrimination. They don't like what I say because I won't give them bribes. I will refuse to pay off any of these 15 council members. I could pay any one of these 15 council members to get rid of my problems. I refuse to do it. I do not want to be an accessory to a felony. The only way you get your street lights, pay them off. The only way you get rid of an encampment, pay them off. This is a pay-to-play criminal organization where you can't speak. So on behalf of the taxpayers and Mr. Pratt, fuck you all.
Great. Your time has expired. Just an FYI, again, Mr. Spindler is our other infamous, or one of our other infamous gadflies. For anybody who has been at these meetings before or who has watched on Channel 35 or via YouTube, you can certainly see that we do not discriminate based on content. They are allowed to insult us, and they do so almost every single day. We, again, appreciate your patience, and with that, we will move on to the next speaker.
I'm Becca Estrada from District 15 and a director of California Interfaith Power and Light. I'm in favor of readopting the oil phase-out ordinance. As a faith leader, I'm concerned about the environmental impacts of neighborhood oil drilling, as well as the numerous health impacts that are caused amongst families, children, and vulnerable communities living near these oil wells. This ordinance was passed in 2022, but now we need the city to get us back on track to shut down oil wells citywide. When you vote on this issue, you'll be faced with a moral decision to protect the working class families or allow multi-million-dollar oil companies to become even richer. Please, I urge you to take action now. Readopt the oil phase-out ordinance, shut down oil or idle oil wells that still leak oil into our ground, and please urge the zoning administrator to revoke the permits for the Warren and Murphy drill site. Thank you.
Great. Hi, my name is Daniel Melling. I'm a resident of Hollywood in Council District 13, and I am co-chair of the Liberty Hill Foundation's Environment and Justice Donor Circle. I'm here to speak in support of readoption of the phase-out ordinance. It's vital that we move this forward for the health, safety, and future of our children and our community. I grew up in neighborhoods that had clean air, and not everyone has access to that. The disparities are really clear, with a lot of the oil drilling sites being close to low-income communities of color. The council has supported this phase-out measure through multiple hurdles, and I'm excited to see it move forward, but we have two additional asks. One is to call on the zoning administrator to revoke the permits for the Banning drill site and the Murphy drill site. And the second is to use city authority to plug existing idle wells. I think we can move these two forward alongside the phase-out ordinance. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable council members. My name is Doug Coates. I'm the president of the United Firefighters of LA City Fire Local 112. We're asking you today to basically take one step, and that's support this ordinance to fund the LAFD and let the voters decide in November. This ballot measure will provide new revenue that is dedicated entirely to the fire department for staffing, stations, and equipment. The LAFD is nearly half the size it should be to protect our nearly 4 million people. In 1965, we had 3,379 firefighters. Today, we have 3,387. That's only 8 more firefighters today than the 1960s. 60 years later, while the call volume has nearly roughly 5 times the amount of calls, and we have 6 fewer fire stations than the 1960s. Our response times have nearly doubled than the national average.
General?
This ballot measure will fund more firefighters and paramedics, repair and build new fire stations, and replace a reserve fleet that is more than 95% out of service. 95% out of service. This ballot measure will save lives, period. It's accountable. All new revenue must be spent on core LAFD services and existing levels of the LAFD funding that must be protected. It creates an independent citizen oversight committee and requires annual public audits. Please support your LAFD and let the citizens of LA vote on November 3rd. Again, The Boyle Heights incident shows that major incidents can happen at any time. Thank you.
My name is Richard Ramirez. I'm the Vice President of UFLAC Local 112 and also a firefighter paramedic for LAFD. I want to remind everyone why this ballot measure is so important to the LAFD and its residents. National safety standards recommends a firefighter reach a cardiac arrest within 4 minutes, and that 28 firefighters should be on scene within 8 minutes of a serious incident. Across most of LA, the LAFD arrives at nearly double the time. As mentioned by Councilmember Gerardo, citizens' health was at risk recently with the Boyle Heights fire. Also, your firefighters' health is at risk. They were exposed to toxic waste, hazardous materials, and smoke, and we still showed up without any question. With depleted resources, this is a serious problem when just a few seconds in emergency can mean the difference between life and death. A recent study also found that the LAFD needs roughly 62 additional stations to serve a citizen the size of LA. We need twice as many firefighters and paramedics and hundreds of additional trucks, engines, and ambulances. That's why firefighters took on our backs to finally fund the LAFD the way it should look to serve our citizens correctly. This measure will fund firefighters and paramedics, ambulances, engines, wildland fire apparatus, and new fire stations and rebuild fire stations. And unlike any other charter amendment this council is now considering, it will provide a new revenue source of about $345 million a year that must be spent to the LAFD core services, must be spent towards the core services. It's not exaggeration to say that this is the biggest measure in the history of our fire department. It's one of our it's our only chance to make the difference and make things right. And we're asking for your support today to put it on the November ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Ryan Quigley. I'm a firefighter paramedic with the Los Angeles Fire Department for the past 23 years. I'm also the current secretary for the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, Local 112. I want to tell you what understaffing actually looks like. It's a 911 call coming in, and the nearest engine is out on another run, so help comes from farther away, and the clock keeps running while the family waits and hopes we make it on time. It happens because the system is stretched too thin. We're answering 5 times the calls that we did in 1960s with the same number of firefighters and fewer stations. Our response times are nearly double the recommended standard, and that's on a good day. Right now, as the Boyle Heights fire enters its 7th day, we have between 80 to 100 sworn LAFD firefighters on scene, and the ripple effect is impacting every single one of your council districts. Firefighters from other parts of the city have to move up to cover to help staff the Boyle Heights fire, but who's backfilling their positions in the communities? We don't have enough people. We don't have enough extra apparatus, but that's what is happening right now. But this is what's happening right now. We brought this measure forward because we can't afford to wait on the city, and neither can the people we protect. This is our plan to undo the decades of underinvestment in our department, more crews on the streets, equipment that actually works, and stations closer to neighborhoods that have waited the longest for help. We're asking you to please move this forward today and let the people we serve make that choice in November. Our next ask will be to have this ballot measure be the focus of every conversation until the ballots are closed in November. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, City Council and Council President. May I respectfully request your attention, please? I am here as a representation of the EDN Defense Network system. I am a tenant that I can tell you personally that I already would have been a member of the unhomed community if it wasn't for the soulful, heartful acts of the Eviction Defense Network. I have been a part of it since April, well, technically March, and I have been working with them countless times, and I have learned through their incredible program how to not only learn my rights, but to defend myself, to get the guidance I need, to be able to figure out countless amounts of paperwork, to be able to stand up and defend myself and my rights to be able to be homed. That is a general right that we should have the tools like EDN and the love and respect and the guidance that they provide for all of not just myself, but thousands and thousands of our community. General? I don't know what I would have done without them, and they need their funds. They've already worked for their funds, and I am respectfully requesting to please release the April funds and do it before July 1st. Because I personally don't know if I'll have representation. I'm waiting for my trial date, and without them, I wouldn't have known what to do, and I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be already be on the streets. So please, please, don't let it go to any votes. Give them what they already deserve and what they've already worked for. Please. Thank you very much.
I'm a student at EDN and a homeless advocate at the Vanta Black Ministries. I have direct experience of the absolute horrors of homelessness. If you don't support organizations like EDN, then you are a direct contributor to rat-infested encampments, drug addiction, mental illness, elder abuse, child abuse, murder, rape, suicide, and animal abuse. These horrific and demonic realities cause hate and division amongst the people of the city of Los Angeles, which you orchestrate with our blood on your hands when you ignore organizations like EDN. I've never heard of an organization that works for free and takes care of the people that you claim to care about when you're trying to get elected. Pay EDN what you already owe them and keep on funding them. All glory to my master, the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Council members, as we speak, the U.S. and Iran are in fragile negotiations to end ongoing war. Negotiations Israeli leaders have repeatedly vowed to sabotage. Today also marks 1 year since Israel's bombing of Iran's Evin prison, the deadliest event of the 12-day war that drew the U.S. into direct conflict. In Evin, Iran holds its highest profile political prisoners and anti-government dissidents. Israel struck Evin with 6 American-made missiles during visiting hours, killing over 70 people. Among them innocent passersby, prisoners in their cells, including a U.S. citizen, a 5-year-old, Mehrad Khairi, killed with his mother, one of the social workers whose lives were taken. The attack destroyed the prison's clinic and its library. Israeli Minister Gideon Sa'ar absurdly claimed the strike was to free the prisoners. Bombs don't liberate people. Renowned activist Narges Mohammadi, herself imprisoned for defending women's and minority rights, called it what it was, a war crime. Council members, if we stand with ordinary people here and in Iran, we must divest city funds from Israeli stocks.
We have to move on to the next speaker.
Good morning, City Council members. My name is Jay Gaines. Thank you, Council President Dawson and Council Member Hutt. Today, I just want to say, really, thank you for taking the time and careful consideration for the matters that we have before you. We really need to see the Eviction Defense Network and the Stay Housed LA organizations get the funding that they need to do the work that they do. I was actually homeless. I'm a product of the public school system. I am a native of the city of Los Angeles. At 66 years old, I am still at it, working hard every day to make Los Angeles a better place. However, I did spend a number of years homeless, living on the streets here in Los Angeles. I worked my way up out of it. And in the 6 years that I've been in my apartment, I was facing eviction for a time. The Eviction Defense Network was there for me, trained me to represent myself, to face the difficulties of just navigating a court system, which is nothing like anything we're taught in school. So I want to thank you all for your careful consideration and getting this done so that more people do not end up homeless like I was. Because, look, you guys, you see it every day. You have to drive past it to get here. It's terrible out there. We don't need more people becoming homeless. Thank you for your time.
My stomach is really nervous right now. I have spoken to Sotomayor. He's my rep. I am surviving a network of white supremacists. I just can't believe I'm even here. The most recent one was on June 4th. Some guy called Alex, he lives a couple houses down from me, and he came over to my house with a sledgehammer, and he sledgehammered my metal fence for an hour and a half, and I pretended that I wasn't home. And when it happened, I just kind of blocked it all away because it's been the most latest attack of many white supremacy attacks. I wish that all of you, even in the corner over there, chit-chatting amongst each other, can hear this, because a lot of people in Northeast LA are experiencing white supremacy attacks. I've heard of another case of a comedian that has an Afro-Arabic last name getting swastika signs put on his garage when he came back from vacation. Him and his little kids were horrified. I've had people try to run over my mother when she's coming out of there's a police report about that. I've had to pick a guy's face on a lineup when he threatened me.
I'm going to pause your time for just a second. Is this related to landlord issues or renter protection issues?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
So it doesn't sound like it's item one, but what we can do is you've used 1 minute and you're doing great. You also have 1 minute for general public comment. Again, we'll continue to assess your accommodation request.
Thank you.
But for now, can we start his time at 1 minute for general public comment? Go ahead.
Okay. Also, to get the housing thing, the 50, it's I am seeing a lot of elderly people in my neighborhood being displaced. There's an elderly couple that, under a very weird technicality, they were kicked out by Bruce J. Real Estate. They're literally on the floor when I go outside. And I've known these people my whole life, probably. I've seen them around there. It's horrible. But so I wanted to comment on that, but I wanted to say that the Copper Keg liquor store from the corner of my house, the barber shop, Fenton's, the Sadlers, Cara McConnell, Dana, Catalona, there's a lot of people. Oh, and there's also a group. I'm not even kidding you, people. There's a group of racist white 12-year-old girls that are bringing other girls by my house, calling me a crazy guy and a monster because a network of white supremacy females in 2006 started to lunge their bodies at me. So,
thank you. You did great. I think
investigated by the city attorney's office.
Understood. So thank you for your public comment. Next speaker.
Good morning. My name is Dina Cruz, and I'm here to speak to our council member Jurado. I don't see her. Is she in the house? Yes, I don't see her. Can somebody point her out to me? Is she, you changed your look, but I don't see her. Is she? Because this message is for her. My name is Dina Cruz. I have lived in Boyle Heights for 22 years, and I took time off work today. That is why I wanted to see her, because it's costing me a lot of money to be here. Thank you for your efforts and for saying the right things. Regarding the Boyle Heights warehouse fires, we must not allow lineage to blame third parties. We must hold them accountable and not let this be another Exide. No bankruptcies. We must protect the area impacted and our firefighters, which are here today. Thank you for your service. Shout out to the Red Cross for our parks for the shelters. They are fabulous. But more needs to be done to help demystify the stigma and perception of seeking help. Also, the lack of safety is alarming. My son goes to Bravo Medical Magnet and he cannot walk to school. Despite it being walking distance, gangs are rampant and graffiti on Wabash must be removed every other day because this is a war. And without the community having to call, do not put the burden on the community. Our unhoused neighbors need weekly outreach and resources for the cleanups. They get cleanup, they get resources, and then the resource comes back a month later. That's not okay. And in regards to the item for the violations of our RSO, I am a victim, I am a survivor of Keys for Cash, and I have a lot of cases from 2018 to 2019 that I was disserviced and mistreated, and so I think we need more protections, and I hope that Ms. Jurado heard what I said today. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Emma Silber. I'm a member of the Stand LA Coalition. I'm here to speak in support of the phase out of oil drilling citywide. First, I want to thank Councilmember Yaroslavsky for her leadership moving this ordinance forward over the last few years and for standing with frontline communities impacted by oil drilling. I also want to thank the Planning Department for their tireless work drafting this ordinance for the second time. We need the city to take action today to move this oil phase-out ordinance forward as a commitment to the health and safety of all Angelenos. But phasing out oil drilling is just the first step to protect residents. We need the city to take urgent action now, and we're calling for the zoning administrator to revoke permits for the Warren ENP Banning drill site and the ENB Natural Resources Murphy drill site. We are also here to demand that the City Council use the city's existing authority through LAFD to plug idle wells. Thank you.
My name is Wendy, and I'm with Esperanza Community Housing, a member of Stand LA. I'm also a constituent of CD15. I am here in support of readopting the oil phase-out ordinance. The science is clear. Neighborhood oil drilling is fundamentally incompatible with protecting public health. We carry this evidence in our bodies. We have experienced countless nosebleeds and headaches, asthma, and even cancer. The fight to phase out does not end here. We need the city to take urgent action now. The city already has the authority to plug idle wells, and the city can urge the zoning administrator to revoke permits for the Warren ENP Banning drill site and the ENB Murphy drill site. We need the city to make a commitment to us and place our health and safety and future over corporate and industry profit. Lastly, I want to extend my solidarity with the State House LA folks. Sign the contract and fund State House LA now. Thank you.
So my name is Georgina Serrano, community organizer with Inquilinos Unidos. As a house councilor, I please request release the March 2026 invoices reimbursement. We already done, do the work, and we need the money for continue doing the work. State House LA is providing legal services every month for more than 500 people. This is families who have a legal representation to advices. But for legal representation, we have more than 200 families represented in court and avoid evictions. So what happens if you as a council do not receive your salary for 2 months? Not nice? So it is our case as organizers. Families need the support, and we need the support from you. Please, we want to continue to provide the services.
Speaker, so your time has expired. I believe you requested general public comment. I do apologize, but we have to apply the rules equally. So if you'd like to provide, and this goes for everybody, if you run out of time like we have now, you can provide additional public comment in writing at lacouncilcomment.com, but we do need to move on to the next speaker. So, I'm sorry?
I request number 15.
You said number 50?
Yes, sir.
15. Apologies. Go ahead. You general.
Thank you. So the families need the 60 days, not the 30 days, to don't be evicted because the resident situation and fires in this area. So we really need for everybody who we are helping, no longer delay, no holding the money. Please provide the funds we need to avoid the evictions. The families are in risk. Today, we don't want to wait. No more time. Please do it today. In advance, thank for your collaboration. Thank you.
My name is Jessica Brown. I currently, or however you want to look at it, reside in Council District number 10. And I would just like to talk about how flawed the entire system is. My landlord successfully put the address of an entire different unit into the LAHD portal, and then onto court documents, put the actual address that I lived at. On this past Friday, completely unknownness to me, but they had planned this strategically for at least a week when they swiped out my entry code into my door. So I could leave, but if I left, I couldn't lock the door, which was preventing me from being able to pursue my legal abilities and to pursue work opportunities. The major flaw in this system, it doesn't end with LAHD, it also falls onto you, because I tried reaching out to you. I tried reaching out to the mayor. And when the mayor repeated back what she thought my case was about, she said it was addiction. That is incredibly hurtful. And so after here, I get to go back across the street to try to win back my life that my landlords had no right to take. I filed the appropriate documents with LAHD inciting fraud. I do not appreciate you reaching your phone and rolling your eyes at me, sir. Hello. And you continue to do so when you recognize that you are in the wrong. All of you recognize that you are in the wrong. That's why you can't look at me. I want you to remember this. You have the opportunity to protect all of us. EDN,
General.
EDN, they are doing the better job than LAHD is. And I haven't had a chance to work with them yet. The person, my new friend, my new family who took me in at the very last minute, Miss Lydia, her and her husband have taken me in. The American Legion of Hollywood, they have donated food to me, to which my landlord threw away. My landlord, she sent me a notice saying that my property would be properly taken care of. That is not what happened. I got a notice that she was actively trashing my things. Brand new stuff, brand new food that I had very intentions to eat. I was saving a turkey since last Thanksgiving that I got from one of your charity drives. I was holding on to that to use it in my new apartment. They did all of this so they wouldn't have to pay the relocation. So for $49, absolutely. Carry that through and carry it to all of the districts.
Speaker, your time has expired.
My name is Nathan Gordon. I urge Councilmember Hernandez and I urge the Council President to act now and agendize the Stay Housed LA motion to instruct the City Attorney to execute the 4 contracts with the Stay Housed LA program and instruct the Los Angeles Housing Department to release the allocation funds immediately. There is a problem here in Los Angeles. Corporate landlords are incentivized to evict tenants. Many of them are very vulnerable, elderly, and disabled. They are forced to navigate a legal system that no one has been taught how to do in high school, and most people cannot. If the city wishes to prevent gentrification and to prevent an ongoing housing crisis that's only going to increase taxpayer costs for all citizens of Los Angeles, we urge the council to please execute the 4 contracts such that Los Angeles, LOFLA, the Legal Aid Council of Los Angeles, can receive their funding.
General.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tiana, and I am the Environmental Justice Director with Black Women for Wellness, and we're part of the Stand LA Coalition. For far too many decades, Black and brown communities have been breathing contaminated air. Children have been playing in parks and going to school mere feet from highly toxic oil operations, and as a result, families have been forced to endure avoidable health harms, ranging from reproductive issues to respiratory impacts. I am calling on my city representatives to remedy this environmental racism and adopt the oil well phase-out ordinance. I also urge this council to go further to protect Angelenos most in harm's way by revoking the permits for the Murphy Drill site in South LA and the Warren site in Wilmington, and by plugging hazardous idle wells. While this ordinance stands as a testament to the strength of people power over big oil's interests, and I am so grateful for its hopeful passage today, it is also imperative for the city to use its breadth of existing powers to keep oil operators in check and advance environmental justice. Thank you.
This morning, my name is Dwayne, D-U-A-N-E, middle initial R, last name Folk, F-O-L-K-E. Bob Blumenfeld I've known since the day he started in politics. He came to my house in Sherman Oaks that I had that was now foreclosed upon. As a result, I ended up in an apartment in Van Nuys where I am now facing an eviction. I also had gotten help from Councilman Rahman over the years and have been a big supporter of hers. I'm desperate, ladies and gentlemen. I need your help. I am the poster child of an individual who has done everything to try to do the right thing. Councilman Price may even recognize me because I've been a lawyer in the community for years, but I'm now facing homelessness because my son, who had a mental health issue, was not granted a reasonable accommodation. Without the Eviction Defense Network, and Beth, does that the other organization and other organizations, without the funding that they need.
General public comment?
Without the funding that they need, people like myself, I am the face of who they are helping. We can't get their help without your help. Please have the city attorney sign the documents that need to get done. Please, we need the help. Thank you.
I'm here today to speak on the importance, my name is Carolina Castillo. I'm here to speak on the importance of the Stay House LA program through my own experience. When the primary leaseholder of our household, my mother, passed away in 2020, it left my family shattered. As if fighting for her well-being wasn't difficult enough, the battle to keep our home was only just beginning. After my mother's passing, our landlord decided that we didn't deserve to keep any of her things, and she began to harass us to get rid of the items because they were excessive. We started getting harassed with multiple inspections over and over again that had no clear instructions. During one of the 3-day notice periods, my sister was set to give birth, and when I reached out to my landlord's attorney to hold off as a reasonable accommodation, do you think they even bothered to answer? No. We endured 2 rounds of meritless evictions that were draining of your energy and demoralizing. You feel helpless and hopeless. In my search for help, I found Stay House LA, and I cannot tell you how lucky and grateful I felt to learn that our great city had such a wonderful program to offer.
General?
Thanks to this program, I was able to receive direct representation from Neighborhood Legal Services and Bed-Stuy Legal Services, and I learned what my rights were as a tenant from the Tenant Empowerment Program offered by the Eviction Defense Network. If these wonderful organizations hadn't been made available to us, my family would have been kicked out to the streets. And if you think the homeless epidemic is bad, imagine how it's going to be as people are losing their homes as we speak because tenants are not getting rental assistance or representation from these wonderful programs whose organizations are now facing layoffs because a contract that should have been signed 15 months ago is still pending. Please urge the city attorney to sign the contract. Please agendize and make it a priority to release emergency funds to help the tenants now. Fund us now.
Here today, once again, to bring attention to all of you people that is sitting up there, supposed to be helping the Los Angeles here and to provide. We, the people of Los Angeles, asked to stay the House LA contract April no later than July 1st is what I'm here to ask of the City Council. Councilman Ramin, why did you pull your supports? I believe us of the Los Angeles people would like to hear an answer from you in regards of your last decision to support your people. And Council President Harris Dawson, I understand now it's on your help of responsibility to make this decision, knowing that us people of Los Angeles are now going to know that it's you that's going to be at fault for all the families and the peoples that is going to be increasing of the homeless out there, is what I brought up from last week. I don't know what you expect us to be of the people here in the city of Los Angeles for you to help us. Here in the city of Los Angeles has only been receiving hurt and damage, and there hasn't been anything that's been ever been supported or anything of use that has been increasing that of communities. All communities has been divided. I don't know why we are divided when we should be united people.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
That concludes public comment for this morning's meeting at over an hour. Thank you to everybody who came out and made their petitions clear. Really appreciate everybody who's doing that. We got someone disrupting the meeting in a blue shirt, Mr. City Attorney.
Mr. Gravener, this is your first and only formal warning. Please do not disrupt this meeting. I understand there are still people here, but we have taken public comment for over an hour and a half. Again, you're here most days. There are some days when we can't get to everybody.
All right, Madam Clerk, what's before us?
And Mr. President, I apologize. Mr. Gravener, it has been warned. He is still disrupting this meeting and is eligible for removal if you would like.
Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 49 as its contents have been amended, and I am a landlord.
All right, so now you're 49 and 50. Recused. All right, Madam Clerk, what's before us?
Next is item 50, as amended by amending motion 50A.
All right, this item as amended is before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right,